Hello and welcome to this very special bonus episode of Grapple City Rewind. This week we are going back to 2015 for another match that took place that year at NXT TakeOver London. We're talking Demon Rising Finn Bálor versus Samoa Joe. I'm Bradley Palermo here as always with Aaron Fink. And Aaron, this was your call, your pick. Why don't you get us started on what happened that night in 2015?
All right, yeah, let's do it. So, as you said, this was Finn Bálor versus Samoa Joe. This is for the NXT Championship. Finn Bálor back then was, fiery, small baby face. He had come from his time in New Japan, where he was a part of the Bullet Club. He was kind of a different baby face. I mean, NXT definitely set itself apart from main roster during this time because they didn't have a problem putting their energy, both creative and booking energy, behind smaller guys. Because Finn Balor's not,
right.
He's not a Hulk Hogan. He's not even a Drew McIntyre. He's probably maybe 6 feet tall or maybe even shorter.
This match is like battle of the body fat percentage.
Yeah, this is definitely another David Goliath type match. And so Finn Bálor he was kind of one of the early people to have a lot of real crowd participation in his entrance. You probably noticed that, like, when he comes out, he does this like thing where he puts his arms out and the whole crowd does it too. And
yeah,
now that type of stuff happens all the time. And it's not to say that it didn't happen before this, but this is kind of the first modern day within the last 10 years iteration of this, I think. But it wasn't just normal Finn Bálor. He had to go to a deeper, darker part of his personality, and that is his demon side. The demon Finn Bálor would occasionally make appearances throughout NXT and a little bit when he made it to the main roster.
We've seen it at Mania. I think that 14 Stitches night, right?
Oh yeah, when he was against Edge. You're right. Yeah, that might have been the last time we've seen Demon Finn. So the only real difference besides the shift in his personality is the way he looks. He has a lot of body paint, and the idea was like always to sort of create this monstrous mouth looking thing on his chest and his face. And I always thought it looked pretty cool. And he also kind of wrestled a little bit differently. He was a little bit more invincible, almost kind of like a precursor to Bray Wyatt's The Fiend, but like still a baby face. So he would still get beat up and still have to fight from underneath, but he was just a bit more like demonic and animalistic. So anyway, he's against Samoa Joe, who is just Samoa Joe, as always.
But they were supposed to be, they did prep us that they were friends and that they had a falling out.
They did, yeah. They talked about how they had been friends for 10 years. They had obviously met before their time in NXT, and when Joe got there, Finn was the champion, and Joe was like, I want a title shot. And Finn was like, yeah, all right. And I guess he didn't do it fast enough because Joe attacked him, and then their friendship, became contentious. And so there was some personal stuff behind this one. And in terms of the crowd, they were actually kind of split for a while. If they were very hot, very excited, but it did feel like there was a let's go Finn, let's go Joe going on for most of the match.
Which is very kind of indie crowd vibe, like these guys kind of from the indies. And like, I was just at GCW the other day, and I mean, it's split every single match because they're just, we're just here to see what these guys do, not really finish the storyline, right?
Yeah, and honestly, NXT was like as indie as WWE has ever and probably will ever get. The majority of the people that they had on the NXT roster during this time were not people that they had trained themselves. They were all people coming from whether it was just the indies or coming from other smaller promotions. So yeah, this is about as close as you get to like a modern day GCW crowd, I would say.
Yeah.
I loved Joe in this. I thought it's 10 years ago, so he's going to look great, but maybe it was the crowd too. I liked Joe's performance in this a lot more than most of his matches in AEW. Maybe some of his world title matches in AEW were on par with this, and his stuff with Punk was pretty good too, but it's clear that like he's in his prime here, or maybe just coming out of it.
Obviously he's still like Finn Bálor. It's a funny contrast, right? Because Finn Bálor is like cut as fuck. He's like 1% body fat. Joe's like 50% body fat. But for a fat guy, Joe is like moving like really quick, like faster than a lot of guys who would be much thinner than him. And his style is like kicking the shit out of you, just throwing you around, beating the shit out of you. And then Finn is more like the new school, modern New Japan kick pad style sort of thing. I guess my sweet spot for wrestlers, I kind of like both these things. My sweet spot's more of like a Sami Zayn. I was thinking when I was watching this, someone who like kind of has that new school flippy stuff, but not too much, and still works American. But like it was cool to see these guys kind of in their primes and the way that they worked, which was very different than one another. And it had some great highlights.
Yeah, there was a spot where Joe did a dive out to the floor, and I'll be damned if he wasn't running full speed like before he went through the top and middle rope. I mean, that shit was crazy.
You don't see him fly out of the ring anymore, I don't think, Joe, right?
Not as much. I've seen him do it a few times, but he doesn't do it every match anymore. He kind of saves it. I think. I mean, again, it was 10 years ago, right? So he was probably 37, 36 or something like that. So, still fairly young as wrestlers go.
He did a nice little chain move of like, it was like a power bomb that teased the Boston Crab and then jumped into a crossface, which I thought was pretty cool. Little chain maneuver there.
Yeah, I remember that too. It kind of looked like maybe he was going to do like a Styles Clash almost, but then he sat down on it for the submission. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Finn, threw a lot at Joe. He was the younger, shorter, smaller baby face, but because of the size difference, there was little that he could really do to get Joe down for a considerable amount of time. And watching this, it kind of made me sad because like Finn's still good. Finn could be. I wish we had babyface Finn now. There was this little hint of it. NXT did like I think it was called NXT Homecoming, and they went back to Full Sail just for a normal Tuesday night episode. Within the last few months, and Finn came out for that, and he came out to his original music, and he did the thing with the arms, and the crowd did the thing with and I was like, man, I miss that. Like, he's good in Judgment Day, but on Judgment Day, I'm kind of tired of.
That's what I was going to say is when I was watching this, I thought the same thing, that Finn has been reduced to muscle for Dominic or to, how do you want to say a lackey for the Judgment Day. I know he has matches still, but when you put someone in a group and they're not the featured member of that group, they're automatically kind of thought of as secondary, as like mid-card. And this guy can be, big level events. I'm not saying we saw him with Edge in Mania a few years ago and stuff, but like Finn could have a feud, could have a program outside of the Judgment Day, and it kind of made me want to see it watching this.
Yeah, I agree.
But I will say, when he fired back at Joe with the sling blades and the running drop kicks, and it was cool. I mean, again, it was kind of like the previous bonus episode. I sort of knew who was going to win the whole time, and it was going to be the David, not the Goliath.
Yeah,
and that's what we got. I could feel that coming, but yeah, it felt like in this match, Finn was the better athlete, and he absolutely took a beating before he finally got to put Joe down for the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it was a solid back and forth that was like intensifying over time. The crowd is getting more and more invested. They're biting on the false finishes. Joe got his coquina clutch submission in. And, a lot of times when that happens in this era, you're like, oh shit, it's over for whoever he's got it on. But Finn escapes, and, they were teasing Joe's muscle buster throughout the end of the match, and looks like Joe's finally going to get it. And I don't remember how they booked it, but it kind of seems like if he hits you with that, it's over. Like, you're not kicking out. So, Finn's on the top rope, and he keeps fighting and fighting. Eventually, he knocks Joe down and hits him with the coup de grace, a double stomp, and he retains. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's a period of time that people kind of, I don't think people forget about it, but it's just not, it's not main roster, so they don't talk about it as much as they should.
It's a bit underrated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for this special bonus episode of GCR. We are continuing to drop bonus episodes throughout the month of December as we prepare to get back at you with season 2 of our full episodes covering old school pay-per-views just like before. So keep an eye on us until we hit that magic moment in January. And in the meantime, don't forget to leave us all the voicemails you like, cut a promo on us, tell us what you think we should watch in January, what have you. It's 626-657-SLAM.
Pick up the phone.
That's 626-657-SLAM. We are at Grapple City Pod across social media, and we are grapplecitypod@gmail.com if you'd like to drop us a line via email. Thanks for listening. We'll be back at you soon.
Boom, boom, boom.